California Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. This, I promise, will be an inspirational discussion. We are speaking with two friends, Carter Paysinger and Stephen Fenton. They are the author of this book, Where a Man Stands. Carter is currently the principal of Beverly Hills High School. Stephen was a board member of the school district in Beverly Hills, a graduate of Beverly Hills High School as well. I want to talk about your relationship. Tell me a bit about it, Carter.
Well, it's interesting. I was a young teacher and coach at Beverly. And
which, by the way, is a fish out of water to start. I mean, how does a guy from, what is it, South Central LA or wherever it may be, wind up at Beverly?
Right. Well, that I have to thank my mom for that.
Right.
She was dedicated to making sure that we had the best education possible and put me in a position to be able to apply for a permit to go to Beverly Hills High School. So
you're a graduate.
So I'm a graduate.
You're a graduate.
Yes.
But you became a teacher.
Teacher and a coach.
And you met a student named
Stephen Fenton.
Tell us about that, Stephen.
15 years old, about 5 feet 1 inch, maybe 100 pounds soaking wet.
I've seen pictures.
And clearly the runt of the litter. And my brother, who was a couple years older, was telling me all these terrific things about Coach Paysinger. And so I couldn't wait to meet him. So here I am going out for freshman baseball. And I go right up to Coach Paysinger. I said, my name is Stephen Fenton, and I'm here to play. And that was how I met him.
And it's undeniable that you had an illustrious career in high school, some of your best years in your life, and years that you looked back at, you pined for, and during some difficult times in your life, you turned to Beverly, your high school. And the fact you turned to that school wound up being a game changer for you as an adult.
It sure was.
Tell us about that moment.
It sure was. You know, Carter was my mentor in high school and really set me on the right path.
But you had lost touch.
We had lost touch. He had set me on my way, graduated from college, went right into show business, was flying high, doing great, was running really, really fast. And the faster I was running in show business, the further away from Carter I was becoming. And I didn't realize till later how destabilizing that really was for me. I'm
almost going to start crying. I mean, it's really quite remarkable to think.
I was in a really bad place for a long time.
And I knew you then.
You did?
Yeah, I knew you then.
Did.
Our families are friends. We know Stephen. My wife has known you since you were a kid.
Yes.
I met you as an adult. And so, but there was a moment where you reconnected with Carter, and that moment changed both of your lives.
There definitely was. I was in my mid-30s, coming right out of a divorce. My head was spinning. I was in a bad place. And like so many other nights over the previous 15 years, I would go back to Beverly Hills High School, back to that baseball field, back to the place where I had so much success with Carter. Carter and I were always stronger together than we were apart. So I would always go back there looking for a sign, looking for energy, looking for inspiration. And here I am on a Friday night, 9:30. I walk through this tunnel to go right out to the baseball field. I've got my head down and I hear the clicking and clacking of cleats. And I do one of these and I look up and I see two kids in uniform walking towards me. All of a sudden those kids disappear into the locker room, and standing right behind them is Carter.
And that was a moment that changed both of your lives.
Carter,
tell us about it.
I had a chance to talk to Stephen for a few seconds there that night, and we exchanged phone numbers, got together the next day, and just talked about our lives, talked about what was happening currently and what had happened over the last 20 years, and got to a point where I was talking about how the school was changing and how some of our favorite teachers and mentors were leaving. And it was just a dark time for us at Beverly Hills High School.
And yet, and I remember this well, you decided to jump in then. You said, I want to make a change for the school that I love, the district I love. You ran for school board. You trounced. You came in first place. And that victory led to a change for Carter. You are now the mentor.
Correct. Here I was about 37 years old, not married, no kids, deciding I'm going to run for the school board. At that moment in time, I had a dream of following my father's footsteps, who used to be on the Board of Education, but currently at that time was a city council member. So
Right.
I thought, I'm going to run for my dad's seat. But after hearing about the troubles at our alma mater and knowing that I could not just stand by and not do anything about it, I went to my dad and I said, Dad, I've changed my mind. I'm not running for your seat. I'm going to run for the school board. Big smile on my dad's face.
And while you were on the school board, a vacancy appeared at Beverly Hills High School. It needed a new principal. And you at the time had been,
I was an assistant principal at that time.
suffice it to say, Beverly Hills High School had never seen a principal that looks like you, to say it bluntly
Right.
and boldly. Loved, no doubt, but had never seen an African American principal.
Right.
In a school district with what percentage of the population is African American?
2 or 3%.
Yeah, not high.
Right.
Somehow, some way, you built a coalition to ensure your appointment. You had the credentials,
Right.
but you still needed to build a coalition.
That's correct. And at the time, because I was so successful in my election, and it's a 5-person board, the first 2 years I was put in my place. I was in the board minority. I wasn't getting much traction on the board. At the halfway mark, 2 new members came
Right.
on. They put me in as president, and I knew that was our opportunity to run the table. But again, Brad, running for the Board of Education, the only goal in mind was to turn around the school. And the only way I knew how to turn around the school was for Carter Paysinger to be the principal.
How's it been? Principal Paysinger?
It's been great. You know, it was a lot of responsibility for me going in as the principal and going through the process that I went through to become the principal.
And a lot of shoulders that you needed to stand on. I mean, Beverly Hills High School, considered one of the best public high schools in the state, if not the nation.
Right.
I mean, you walked in to a situation where you had big shoes to fill.
Absolutely.
And I guess you filled them.
Well,
I guess you did. I looked at the statistics.
I like to believe we have.
Right.
Fortunately, though, being a student at Beverly and a young teacher at Beverly when we were doing really, really well,
Right.
I knew what it looked like, and I knew where we needed to go. And that really helped guide me in terms of my leadership there at the high school. And so posting the highest test scores in the school's history and you know, starting programs that we didn't have before that have been tremendously successful.
This is a friendship that is inspirational to me. It's one that I'd like to see more of in our society. It's one that feels very natural.
Right.
I mean, of course. I mean, look at you two. You
Right.
know, it's obvious. It's like a frickin' frack in the best sense. You wrote this book, which has gotten tremendous heat. I mean, it's been out only a few weeks as we speak today. The movie rights have been snagged. You're all over the place. National TV, national radio. You're on my show, our show. How does it feel?
Unbelievable. It really does. It feels unbelievable. And what I'm hoping is that people really see the message. And for us, that's take on your challenges. Do what you feel is right. Take on those challenges regardless of the adversities that you may face. And there are real rewards in doing that.
And I must say, just for our viewers, you know, it all comes around. My wife is a woman named Tina, and I met Tina working on a daytime talk show hosted by Lisa Gibbons. 10, 15 years later, Stephen was in our kitchen and asked to be set up with Lisa Gibbons, and Lisa Gibbons is now
My wife. All thanks to Brad Pomerance, without a doubt. 1,000% thanks to Brad Pomerance.
But it was around this time.
Yes, it was.
It was around this time when you and Lisa came together. And so, in a lot of ways, I'll take some thanks, but I think you
Absolutely.
put him in a frame of mind that allowed you to accept the love that Lisa was there to give.
Well said.
That's fair.
They are the authors of this book, Where a Man Stands. My name is Brad Pomerance. It's California Edition. I just got chills. I just got